50 years after Logan's run, its stars faced scandal, triumph, and tragedy far beyond the dome. Who survived, who disappeared, and whose fate shocked Hollywood? The truth behind their lives might surprise you. Michael York was born on March 27, 1942. He played Logan 5, the elite Sandman programmed to enforce a system that demands death at 30 only to become the man who dares to run from it. When Logan's run premiered, York wasn't chasing relevance, he already had it. He had moved gracefully through prestige cinema, working with major directors, and proving himself as both a romantic lead and a classical actor. But Logan 5 required something far more complex. This was not a hero defined by courage from the start. This was a man conditioned by comfort, blinded by privilege, and only slowly awakened by doubt. York approached the role with restraint, which is precisely why the transformation feels so believable. The cause of Logan's shift is not sudden rebellion, it is exposure to truth layer by layer, moment by moment, and York lets that evolution breathe. What makes his performance linger is the contradiction at its core. York, already in his 30s, portrays a man terrified of reaching that very age. That irony becomes symbolic. It reflects Hollywood itself, a system obsessed with youth, constantly replacing what it once celebrated. The film's message becomes meta-actors, like citizens in the Dome, are often valued only while they remain young enough. Logan's run was supposed to break York into a new phase, the action star era, the franchise centerpiece. But the cause and effect chain didn't align. Mixed reviews diluted momentum. The absence of a sequel removed continuity. Instead of becoming the next Harrison Ford, York became something else, something quieter, but arguably more enduring. He adapted. That is the key. Through decades of television stage and voice work, he maintained a presence that many flashier careers could not sustain. Then came reinvention. His role in Austin Powers reframed him for a new audience, not as a leading man, but as a figure of wit and authority. That shift wasn't a step down, it was a strategic evolution. By 2026, York stands not as a relic of 1970s cinema, but as a living contradiction of the film's premise. The man who once ran from time has outlived the system that tried to define him. And that is the lesson his journey leaves behind in a world that tries to assign expiration dates. Survival belongs to those who evolve. Jenny Agutter was born on December 20th, 1952. She played Jessica 6, a character whose quiet intuition becomes the first crack in a perfectly controlled world. If Logan represents obedience shaped by the system, Jessica represents doubt, the instinctive feeling that something isn't right, even when there's no evidence to prove it. From her very first moments in Logan's run, she doesn't rebel loudly or dramatically. Instead, she questions, softly observes carefully, and trusts a deeper emotional awareness that the system cannot fully suppress. That subtlety defines Agutter's performance. At just 23 years old, Agutter brought a calm, grounded presence to a film built on spectacle. She avoided exaggeration, choosing instead to make Jessica feel real, less like a science fiction archetype, and more like a human being trying to understand a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. That decision gave the character weight. Jessica isn't the loud revolutionary. She is the quiet catalyst. The cause of Logan's transformation begins with her influence. The effect is a man who starts to question everything he once believed. At the time, Agutter herself stood at a similar turning point. She had already built a reputation in British cinema, particularly as a former child star transitioning into adult roles. But Logan's run represented something bigger, a gateway into international recognition. The film's success, combined with projects like The Eagle Has Landed, created a powerful surge of momentum. Then came Equus, where she delivered a bold and emotionally complex performance that proved her depth as an actress. The trajectory seemed clear. Hollywood was ready to elevate her further. But this is where her story diverges from expectation. Instead of following a predictable path toward global stardom, Agutter chose exploration over repetition. She moved between genres, horror drama television, refusing to be confined to a single image. Eventually, she made an even more defining decision. She stepped away from Hollywood's relentless pace. Returning to the UK, she prioritized family and reshaped her career around longevity rather than visibility. By 2026, Agutter remains active and widely respected, particularly through her enduring role in Call the Midwife. Yet her true legacy lies not just in her work, but in her choices. Jessica survives because she questions the system early. Agutter thrived because she did the same. Her journey reflects a deeper truth. Survival isn't always about escape or rebellion. It's about recognizing when to step back, redefine success, and protect what truly matters before the system consumes you. Richard Jordan was born on July 19, 1937. He played Francis VII the Sandman, whose loyalty to the system is so absolute that the very idea of betrayal feels impossible to him. Francis is not written as a traditional villain driven by anger or cruelty. He is something far more unsettling, a true believer. And that belief, unshaken and unquestioned, becomes the source of his danger. Jordan understood this distinction with remarkable clarity. Rather than portraying Francis as aggressive or emotionally volatile, he built the character on quiet authority, on the calm conviction that what he is doing is not only justified, but necessary. That stillness gives Francis a chilling presence. He doesn't need to threaten, his certainty does it for him. Jordan's background played a crucial role in shaping that performance. He was more than a film actor. He was a disciplined, intellectually grounded performer with deep roots in theater. His training allowed him to approach Francis not just as a character, but as an idea. In Logan's Run, Francis becomes more than a pursuer, he becomes a reflection. He mirrors Logan's former self, the version that accepted the system without question. The cause of Francis's actions is ideological alignment. The effect is absolute obedience. And that obedience strips him of flexibility, of doubt, of humanity. Off-screen, Jordan's career followed a steady and promising ascent. Through the late 1970s and 1980s, he took on increasingly complex roles, establishing himself as a thoughtful and dependable presence across both film and television. By the end of that decade, he appeared poised to enter a new phase, one that could have brought him even greater recognition and longevity. But reality, unlike storytelling, offers no guarantees. In 1993, his life took a devastating turn. Diagnosed with a brain tumor, his career was abruptly interrupted. The impact was immediate and irreversible. Projects were lost, momentum vanished, and the future he had been building collapsed in a matter of months. He passed away later that year at the age of 56. The parallel to Logan's Run is impossible to ignore. Francis enforces a system that claims control over life and death, yet the actor behind him faced a force that no system could contain. By 2026, Jordan's legacy endures not through sheer volume of work, but through the intelligence and restraint he brought to every role. He proved that authority can be quiet, that menace can be composed, and that belief, when left unexamined, can become its own kind of prison. Peter Ustinov was born on April 16, 1921. He played the old man, the last living witness to a world that existed before control, before artificial limits, before a society decided that life should end at 30. In Logan's Run, his appearance marks a turning point so profound that it reshapes the entire narrative. Up until that moment, aging is treated as a myth, something distant, almost forbidden. But when Logan and Jessica encounter him, the illusion collapses. Aging is no longer theoretical. It stands before them, human, fragile, but undeniably real. Ustinov approached the role with a depth that only a lifetime of experience could provide. He wasn't simply acting, he was drawing from decades of lived knowledge. A true polymath, he had already established himself as an Oscar-winning actor, a playwright, a novelist, and a global humanitarian. That intellectual richness seeps into every moment he appears on screen. Much of his dialogue was improvised, layered with literary references, and delivered with a rhythm that feels natural rather than scripted. The old man doesn't speak like someone written for a scene, he speaks like someone remembering a life. That distinction is what elevates the character beyond narrative function. He becomes a living archive of everything the system erased: culture, memory, individuality. The cause of his isolation is the collapse of the old world. But the effect is something unexpectedly powerful: a quiet, resilient preservation of humanity itself. Surrounded by books, animals, and remnants of the past, he represents a version of life that is imperfect, but real, chaotic but meaningful. After the film, Ustinov's life continued to reflect the very ideals his character embodied. He expanded his influence across literature, cinema, and humanitarian work, most notably through his long-standing role with UNICEF. He believed that purpose does not diminish with age, it evolves. He passed away in 2004 at the age of 82, but his legacy remains deeply embedded in the film's core message. The old man doesn't just reveal the past, he redefines the future. In a world still chasing youth, Ustinov's performance stands as a quiet defiance, reminding us that a life truly lived cannot be measured by how early it ends, but by how deeply it grows. Michael Anderson Jr. was born on August 6, 1943. He played Doc, the underground physician who quietly helps runners escape the system, making him one of the few characters in Logan's run who actively resists from within. Unlike Logan or Jessica, Doc doesn't go through a transformation arc, he has already seen the truth. That makes him crucial to the story's cause and effect chain. Without Doc, Logan never escapes the dome. Without Doc, the idea of resistance remains theoretical. Anderson Jr. played him with understated urgency, avoiding theatrics, and instead grounding the character in quiet conviction. There's a subtle tension in his performance, the sense that he knows every second matters, that discovery means death. And that tension adds weight to every scene he appears in. At the time, Anderson Jr. carried both opportunity and expectation. As the son of director Michael Anderson, his casting inevitably raised questions about nepotism. But reducing his role to that would miss the larger point. He had already built a career as a child actor, appearing in films alongside major stars, and he understood the mechanics of performance. In Logan's run, he doesn't try to dominate the screen. Instead, he supports the narrative structure, functioning almost like a bridge between ignorance and awareness. The cause of his character's importance lies in his knowledge. The effect is the survival of others. After the film, however, his career followed a quieter path. Unlike some of his co-stars, he did not experience a major breakout moment. His work continued primarily in television, with guest appearances that never fully repositioned him as a leading figure. Over time, roles became less frequent, and eventually he stepped away from acting altogether. There is no dramatic fall, no scandal, no defining tragedy, just a gradual fading from the spotlight. And yet that outcome carries its own meaning. In a film obsessed with visibility, survival, and being seen, Anderson Jr.'s real-life trajectory reflects a different truth. Not every career ends in legacy or loss. Some simply transition into normal life. By 2026, he is still alive, living away from the industry that once defined him. And that quiet existence mirrors the very freedom his character helped others achieve. Doc helped people escape the system, but Anderson Jr. ultimately escaped Hollywood itself. And in doing so, he embodies one of the film's most overlooked lessons sometimes. Survival isn't about being remembered. It's about being free. Roscoe Lee Browne was born on May 2, 1922. He played Box, the chillingly polite machine who promises sanctuary but delivers death-preserving human bodies as frozen resources for a system that consumes them. Box is one of the most unsettling figures in the film, not because of aggression, but because of logic. He doesn't hate, he doesn't question, he simply fulfills his function. And that is what makes him terrifying. Browne's voice, deep, controlled, almost soothing, transforms the character into something far more disturbing than a typical villain. He speaks of death as if it were hospitality. And that contrast creates one of the film's most memorable sequences. But Browne's life before and beyond acting adds another layer to his performance. Before entering the industry, he was an accomplished athlete, even competing at a high level in track and field. He was also a teacher, an intellectual, a man who valued discipline and knowledge. That background shaped the way he approached roles. He refused to accept parts that reinforced stereotypes, insisting instead on dignity and substance. The cause of that decision was personal conviction. The effect was a career defined by respect rather than volume. In Logan's Run box represents a different aspect of the system, not control through ideology like Francis, but control through process. He is the endpoint of a society that has removed morality from function. Browne understood that, and he leaned into it, delivering a performance that feels almost philosophical. Box doesn't see himself as evil. He sees himself as necessary, and that perspective makes him unforgettable. After the film, Browne continued to build a remarkable career across stage television and voice acting. His voice became his signature, bringing warmth and authority to countless projects. He won awards, earned critical acclaim, and remained active well into his later years. He passed away in 2007 at the age of 84. By 2026, his legacy endures not just through his performances, but through the standards he upheld. In a world that often rewards compliance, Browne chose principle, and in doing so, he avoided becoming the very thing box represents: a function without humanity. His story reminds us that the system only wins when people stop questioning their role within it. Farrah Fawcett was born on February 2, 1947. She played Holly in Logan's Run, a seemingly minor character, a stylist inside the dome whose brief, radiant presence might suggest she was just another face in a world built on surface-level perfection. But that fleeting role carries an irony that only becomes clear in hindsight. At the time of filming, Fawcett was still searching for her defining moment, still navigating the early stages of a career that had yet to explode. Logan's Run gave her visibility, but it did not yet reveal her full impact. That impact came almost immediately after. With the debut of Charlie's Angels, everything changed. The cause was a rare convergence, timing, charisma, and an image that resonated instantly with audiences. The effect was nothing short of cultural domination. Fawcett became more than an actress. She became a phenomenon. Her face was everywhere, her influence undeniable. But as Logan's Run subtly suggests, a system built on perfection often comes with invisible constraints. Fame, like the dome, creates expectations. It defines how you should look, act, and remain. And Fawcett refused to stay confined. At the height of her success, she made a decision that shocked Hollywood. She walked away from Charlie's Angels after just one season. It was a risk that could have ended her career. Instead, it redefined it. She pursued roles that demanded more than beauty, more than presence. The Burning Bed became the turning point, where she delivered a raw, emotionally intense performance that forced critics to reconsider everything they thought they knew about her. The cause was her pursuit of authenticity. The effect was respect. Her later years introduced a different kind of battle, one that no script could prepare her for. Diagnosed with cancer, Fawcett chose visibility over silence. She documented her journey, exposing pain, vulnerability, and resilience in a way that few public figures had ever done. That decision transformed private suffering into public awareness, shifting conversations around illness and strength. She passed away in 2009 at the age of 62. By 2026, her legacy continues through the foundation that bears her name, supporting research and advocacy. In Logan's Run, Holly exists within an illusion of perfection, beautiful, controlled, temporary. Fawcett's real life shattered that illusion. She proved that while beauty fades and fame evolves, courage endures. She didn't run and she didn't conform. She faced reality head-on and refused to look away. If you love uncovering the hidden stories behind classic Hollywood, take a second to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next deep dive. 50 years after Logan's Run, its cast proved a powerful truth. Youth fades, systems change, but the choices we make define our legacy. Some ran, some questioned, some endured. but all revealed that life's real meaning begins when we stop fearing time and start understanding it.